This is Rowena Dooley asking Soul citizens to report for duty. Rowena Dooley asking Soul citizens to report for duty.
And greetings. Welcome to Soul Voices. I am Griffin Gaming RPG, and we are back on Saturday, July the 8th. And we are back for Soul Voices 50th episode. 50 episodes, gang. 50. We have reached the big 5-0. And we are so grateful for you guys, for your support, for your viewing, for telling people about our show, which I hope you will do right now. But thank you guys for the 50. We have hit 50 shows. This is our baby show, I guess. Soul Talk was before this one. We just celebrated 50 episodes for that not too long ago. I don't remember, Fast Cart, what episode you're on right now, but I know you're past 50. And so this show, our third show, is now reached 50. And we appreciate you guys just being here and always joining us on our Saturday afternoons. As you guys know, Soul Voices is our one-on-one show where we talk about things related to Star Citizen, particularly coming from Spectrum, from Reddit, and we also talk about stuff from the gaming industry as well. So yeah, that's our deal. That's our conversation. But today is our 50th episode. And again, we're excited to have you guys here with us. As you guys know, we've been doing a campaign to raise funds for St. Jude's Children's Hospital for their Play Live fundraising campaign. We have already reached our second tier of $1,000. We really want to say thank you to guys, for all of you all rather, who have, I shouldn't say guys, to everyone who has contributed or who has passed on information. If you've already given, no pressure to continue to give all the time. If you want to give again, this is going to go to October 22nd until CitizenCon weekend. But what you can do, even if you don't have the money to give, is to tell other people about it. There's a barcode here on our Twitter page. We do have a tweet that goes out prior to our shows with a barcode similar to the one you see on the screen. You could always tweet that out as a way to let people know about our fundraising effort and what we want to do for children and families of St. Jude Children's Hospital. So really hope you guys can help us out with that. We are going to do a little bit more detailed information halfway through this show to kind of break down what we're going to be doing for giveaways, because we're doing great giveaways, and we're ready to go to our third tier. So we will show you guys that a little bit later. As you guys know, we're also, as part of our celebration today for the 50th episode, the player haters are going to be joining us. I don't know how many are going to show up. I don't know who's going to show up, but I can tell you there'll be more than one. So the player haters will be here later on to put their spin and probably, wish us well. They come on as our guests from time to time, and hopefully they'll be able to come on and share in their own way about our 50th episode celebration here. So yeah, let's jump into it. Let's see. This week, Boy, I was on Spectrum and on Reddit, and I was seeing some interesting stuff. On Spectrum in particular, there wasn't very much on Reddit this time around. There's a few things, but there were some things that I picked up on there that were concerns from the community, and some people had some positive things and some retrospective things, but then there was also a little bit of discontent. Let's just use that word from what people were saying. So what I want to do is, as always, we're gonna put a link up for you guys for this first one. And I think Fast Card's here. I saw him earlier. I'm not sure if he's still around, but we're gonna put the link up for you guys. But the very first topic that I saw was called "A Growing Storm" by Devil. Devil was the name of this person. Thank you, Fast Card. You are always on point. And this was the post, and there's the link there if you guys want to follow along. It is a bit wordy. Some of the ones I got today are really wordy, guys, especially the third one. So if you want to follow along, it's fine, but I'll put it on the screen as best I can. Devil says this, I've been in the community. Let me read it from my screen instead of trying to read it from that screen because I'm going to have problems if I do that. Give me 1 second here. Hey guys, this is the beginning of it because I didn't put the whole thing in. He says, hey guys, this is more of a question for CIG than anything, but feel free to weigh in if it fancies you. However, please know that this comes from a place of genuine concern and not from negativity. So please refrain from flaming myself or anyone that chimes in. I've been in the community for a number of years now. I've spent an absolutely silly amount of money on pledges supporting this project. I say this to highlight that up until very recently, every ship sale and every concept ship announced felt like it was embraced by the backers with excitement and interest. However, over the past year or so, I've noticed a series of feelings of discontent growing in the community when new ship concepts are constantly chucked out, while fewer and fewer of the older pledge ships are released or gold standard. Is this frustration being heard or addressed by CIG by chance? I worry that continuing to create new JPEGs to sell while seemingly ditching old pledges is really going to cost the development in the long run and lose many long-term backers in the process. Up until recently, this group has been some of the most friendly and helpful game communities I've come across. Sorry, I didn't give you guys part two. So I don't want to see rising bitterness continue to spread. Again, genuine concern. Please respond respectfully. Okay. Let's, I've heard previously when certain ships have come out, particularly when they're ships that are not on the timeline, ships that we've never heard of, and something gets introduced, people will say, well, where'd the ship come from? What about those ships that have already been pledged in the past? Why, what's going on with that? How come they're coming out of nowhere with these ships, or they're making more concept ships than they are putting ships out, And some of you guys know there are some ships that date back to 2013 and 2014. And so, how do you feel? I mean, does it, when something comes out, a new concept, does it make your mind say, well, what about? Is there a whataboutism that happens at that point for you? Or do you see a new ship and just look at it and say, what about if I spend money for it? I mean, what is your feeling about this? And is there a growing storm? Is there a feeling of discontent? Is it just a minority of people that feel that way? Or do you hear it frequently as well? I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. So let's go ahead and start bringing some folks in. I'm going to bring in Pops. Pops in Space is going to join us. Pops, are you there? I don't hear him.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm sorry, Kai. I was talking with Kai. So the question is about, he's saying that he's not trying to be negative, but about the old ships.
He says he's hearing a growing storm of people becoming, over the last year, more discontent with the fact that new concepts come out, but they've got these old ships that they haven't put out yet,
Yeah, well, there are some reasons for delays on certain things, and I'll just mention a couple real quick. Some of the larger ships that they said that that they're not going to come out with, if that touches his point, to things that have been in concept, the Endeavor, things like that they have to work on. They don't want to bring these large ships into the game without gameplay for them. So it may seem like they're kind of sliding them.
Okay.
On that end. Another point that I want to make is like the Banu Merchantman. We all know that the kind of the background troubles that's had, that the particular person has moved on to something else, so they have to reshift things around. The gold standard to certain things, this is my opinion of it from the outside looking in, is that these ships were made to a particular standard so we could get in and come in and play the game. Like the Carrack, for example.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. Let's clarify what gold standard is, because CIG has went back and gave a definition of that. Because gold standard for a lot of people, at first people thought that gold standard meant the ship was finished, and CIG made it clear that that is not what it means. What it meant was that the ship was brought up to standards of playability of where they want the game to be for now. So in other words, for example, let's use the Primo ship, Colossal's favorite ship, the Gladius, right? The Gladius had a storage compartment which we could not access. The Gladius had components that were hardwired in, but you could not remove them, right? But now CIG is at the place where now storage in ships is real, being able to remove components is real. So they brought those ships up to what was considered gold standard. Those ships, the components could be removed, blah, blah. There are a lot of ships like the Carrack that are not gold standard. Okay. There are a lot of earlier ships that are not gold standard yet. Okay.
Right.
So I want to make sure everybody understands what gold standard is. It doesn't mean that's the final finished product. It means that they have brought it up to the most recent and current standard of, if that ship came out right now, this is how we make that ship. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And because Doc Murray mentioned that there's there's standards above gold. He said he didn't know to say the name or whatever, but he did mention that there are standards. And one of my points for mentioning the Carrack, even though the Carrack is great, a lot of things are work in it now. There are things that don't work in it.
Right.
There are, and we've seen them where they talk about internal ducts and things like that, the oxygen and things like that, just to kind of give people an idea that there's no ship with internal things like that working in them.
Yeah, there's no ship that has everything working in it yet, basically.
Working in it
there's
now.
no
So
ship.
Right. So they all need love. It's essentially.
So do you think there is a growing storm? Do you think that there are people who feel a certain kind of way when these things come out, or do you, or I mean, obviously we know there are some people. Is there a growing storm? Are more and more people complaining about it to you, or do you think it's just a small minority?
I think we all have a certain amount of it.
Okay.
To be perfectly honest.
Okay.
Their whole sale is on ships. You know, how they make them, and they make the hell out of ships. Okay. You know, their whole concept is on them, so that it causes excitement. I mean,
but is there a storm, Pops? I'm worried about the storm, not the excitement. Are people becoming discontent, is my question. Or or is it a small minority of people, you think?
I think that, I'm giving a broader answer.
No. Answer my question. Answer my question. Are people in the community? It's a very specific question. Are people in the community becoming upset because concepts come out and the older ships aren't? Or do you think that's just a small minority of people that feel that way?
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to say yes, because people.
Yes to which one? Yes to which one?
That they want their older ships.
Okay.
Now, and there's a level of discontent.
Okay. A level of discontent. Okay. All right.
There's a level.
Gotcha, Pops. All right. Let me get the next folks in. Thanks, buddy. All right. Let me bring in Red Bear 1. Red, are you there?
Hello.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good. What are your thoughts on the growing storm? Is there a growing storm?
There's always a storm brewing. If not for the ships, it's something for something a new. Let's say the hover mode. We can remember that one. Yep. I actually like it.
Okay.
They need the sales, and if there's no new ships, I can refer to the latest sale of the alien ships. There was no new alien ship, and I kind of tasted that people were expecting a new concept sale, and they were a bit disappointed there was none.
Wow. That's true. Yeah. There were people that felt like Alien Week, there was nothing quote unquote special about it. I know we talked about that there could be activities and things too, but you're right. There were some people that were looking forward to something, whether it was the release of the Suntech Yai or whether it was the reveal of a new alien ship. Okay.
But it was nothing, and people were like disappointed for that as well. So I agree with the backlog. Even I want to see some older ships bring a bit up to the modern times, like the Starfarer. I like that ship. But I have to be patient. I cannot there are like many ships, old ships that needs a touch, and everybody has their ship
that they want to see that happen with, right?
Yes, people had like the 600i, the 890. There are so many ships they need to attend to, and they have to make a choice.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's the whole thing.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Thank you, Red.
Yes.
Okie dokie. Let me bring in Kai Zin. Kai.
Hello, hello.
Hey, buddy.
Okay, so I posted in the comms in the text my exact feeling on this.
Okay.
I'm saying it with love and respect because the guy posted his question respectfully, but immediately red flag when he said, "Hey guys, I want you to know where I'm coming. I spent a stupid amount of money on this game and I'm starting to get frustrated." Paraphrasing. Yeah, that's the red flag. You spent a stupid amount of money on this game. Don't spend a stupid amount of money on this game. This game.
Interesting.
CIG never met a deadline they didn't enjoy blown right by 5 years. This is a different and unique and awesome, interesting, weird, and super frustrating project. If you are going to be stupid and put enough money that you could buy a car, then you are going to get frustrated by feeling like they're blowing your deadlines on a stupid amount of money.
That's interesting.
If you plopped in $45,
you're not going to be
just
sweating.
having fun screwing around, and you're like, "Oof, the game sucks right now. The alpha of this game sucks right now. I'll come back in 6 months or a year." You're going to be perfectly fine and enjoy it, and you're along for the ride.
That's interesting.
I strongly believe, so to his exact question, are there some people in the community that are getting super butthurt? Yes, and you know who those are? Those are the guys that spent a stupid amount of money. Don't spend a stupid amount of money.
You know, that's interesting.
The smallest amount of money and just enjoy the ride.
That would be a really cool survey, because now that you think about it, I never thought about it from that perspective, that maybe the people who feel that way, or a good percentage of them, is because they actually have money invested in those. Like Red said, you know, everybody's got their ship that they want to see come out, or they want to see get to gold standard. But if you're not, but if the financial investment isn't there, you may have a totally different feeling about whether you care if the Orion is out. You know what I mean? You may want to do mining, but that thing that boils inside of you may not be, you know, the consumer side of it, right? May not be there. That's a very good observation. I never thought about that.
If you bought even if you bought a Cuddy Black, you know, you bought a $100 ship. All right, you're having fun, you're whatever. If you bought a $900 ship or a $3,000 ship 5 years ago, and there's still an undetermined amount of years away from you even seeing it, well, yeah, you're going to get butthurt.
Okay.
So don't spend a stupid amount of money. Only spend, like I always say with video games, like if you're backing a Kickstarter, to me, it's like giving money to a woman. I never give money to a woman I ever expect to see again. That money, it's gone. I've been repaid back by several women, and it's always been a very pleasant surprise. And I've enjoyed my life on living under that rule.
You keep good expectations.
Is that bad?
No, it's good expectations. Maybe. It's good, fair expectations.
For me.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great thing, Kai. Thank you, brother.
I love you, brother. Talk to you later.
Kai bringing the real, as always. Let's bring in Jay Voodoo Child. Jay, you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, buddy. How are you, man?
So, is there growing discontent? Maybe. Okay. Is it a storm? Absolutely not. It's just people making noise to make noise.
Okay.
My point of view is that this is a for-profit business, and they are collecting money through pledging. Once that money is committed, that's it. That's the end of the conversation. That's the end of your contribution to the development of the game. And you're not a shareholder. The company does not owe you anything. that money is gone.
Them fighting words, brother. Those are fighting words. And I get what you're saying.
Right.
There are some expectations and maybe some manufactured expectations that people have as consumers. Because when we're a consumer, and I do understand, like, I'm just using an example, right? Let's say that I bought the, Brand New Merchantman, right? Ship came out in 2015, right? And now it's 2018, and they decide to whip out the, what's that thing called? What's the X-Wing called? What's the X-Wing called? Yeah, it's Scorpius, yeah. Right. And it's like, where'd that come from? You know, that we didn't even see anything, and all of a sudden it's going, not only does it come out, it's ready to fly. You know, what happened to my Brand New Merchantman? And I can talk about the technical reasons why the Brand New Merchantman may not be out, but I do understand from a consumer aspect, we figure, well, if I've paid my money, and if I feel like I've given you, and mind you, this is a very subjective word, I've given you reasonable time to produce it, right? Reasonable in my brain versus reasonable in the scope of things could be two different things. But as a consumer, I've waited 2015, this is 2023, so that's 8 years that I've waited for the Brand New Merchantman to come out, right? And so...
And isn't that the risk of a Kickstarter pledge?
Yes, absolutely. Because as you mentioned, there are no contract guarantees of when something's going to happen. And particularly with game development. I did a show earlier today talking about Starfield. And one of the things Todd Howard said is that once they spent 8 years getting this thing, we know it's probably more than that, but we know they spent at least the last 8 years working on it. And he said that once you get to the halfway point, he said, you realize why nobody makes games like this, because of the work and effort that it takes, right? Now, as gamers, we don't really know all the depths of that. All we know is that we heard about the game, it got announced, and we can't wait to play it for the most part, you know. But I agree with you 100%. Keeping that perspective of a Kickstarter. And it's hard to look at Star Citizen as a Kickstarter these so many years later into the project, but you're right. That's what it was founded on, was the Kickstarter principle. No guarantees,
and,
like you said.
Gamers already have an issue, in my opinion, that just because they are spending time in the game, that they have a say in, it should change to meet my needs.
Yeah.
And there's so many communities, there's so many people playing their style of game. You know, it goes back to that capitalism of, this is a company, it's for profit. You know, they are trying to make money to, feed their employees and, make some money and buy their yachts and what have you. That is the nature of the thing. So they have to make a game that casts the widest net and will get as most money as possible in doing so. And just people forget, and they say, this is my game, I'm spending so much time, you need to make it more to my liking. And we're already there just in general games with the time we're spending, but then we add in this money element to it.
It's throw more gas on the fire, right? More gas on the fire.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, Jay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Good perspective there. All right. Last but not least, we'll bring in FC. Let's go.
Hey, how's it going? Happy 50th episode.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate that.
Yeah, first of all, I just got to do this real quick. The views and opinions I'm kind of not representative of Soul Citizens. There are plenty of women who are responsible when it comes to loans. Okay, I just wanted to say that. And I spent a smart amount of money. If you want to spend a stupid amount of money, go to Star Atlas. Or if you're smart, get Citizen Star Citizen. But as far as the question goes, I think there is discontent among the older backers, like us, or the people who've been in the game for a while.
Okay.
You already made the example of the Brand New Merchantman. Yeah, that concepted in 2013, not 2015.
Oh, 2013. I'm sorry, 2013. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's been a while. Matter of fact, I put a picture in Screaming Alert that I'll probably put in the chat later. But I think that among the no backers, they come in with so many choices and so many options. I think they may be overwhelmed when they first come in.
That's
true.
So
I think it's among the older backers that may be discontent, if any.
Okay, good point. All right, FC. Thank you, brother. All right, all you old dinosaurs, y'all need to calm down. That's what Fast Cart said. At least that's what I heard him say. At least. No, but thanks, Best Card. That's a great perspective. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into our next one. The next one here, number 2, I gotta make sure I have a new layout here that I'm doing. This one was from Obsydian. And the title of it was, how can you produce so little content with so many people? That was the question. How can you produce so little content with so many people? And we'll put the link in there for you guys to take a look at this one. But this is what it says. I'm truly baffled. They say GIC, but I'm sure they meant CIG. Has grown to over 800 people. Spread over the globe. Multiple studios and teams working on the game. But what are they actually doing? 3.19 got some stability patches, a bunch of rivers, Lorville, Uplift, the Lynx, and the Mirai Fury. What are the other teams doing? The same for the next patch. According to an ISC, we might be getting some outposts, arena commander upgrade, the Hull C, and ship trespass. PES might have been a massive undertaking, but why not make more content while the engine guy but why not make more content while the engine guys do their thing? I mean, PES should be just one team, right? Or at least all back-end teams. So where's the rest? New missions, new locations, a working star map, etc. Okay, let me give you part 2 to this because there's more to it. Where's the Javelin Wreck Uplift shown ages ago as a test for Turbulent, for example? For such a large company, this feels very lacking, especially since they produce much more content in past patches. Is it really all going to Squadron 42? I didn't back for that game. I backed for Star Citizen. Ooh, them some fighting words for some people. Okay. How can you produce so little content? I'm not sure who came in first, so I'm just going to go with what I think. I'm going to go with Pops here first. Bring him in. Pops, you there?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm here.
Yes, sir.
Yep, Jay was first, but okay.
Okay, I didn't see because I was reading, so forgive me, Jay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. It wasn't okay. I thought you were gonna pull Jay first.
We want me to get Jay first? I can get him if you want me to.
Get Jay first.
All right, I'll get Jay to come in first. All right, let's bring Jay Voodoo back in. Jay, you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, brother. What you got?
So yeah, the exact same thing. They will pass or fail on their decisions that they make.
Okay.
We as the community have no seat at the table with making decisions.
That's a real big horse pill you're making me swallow there, Jay. You know that, right? You're saying that my 2 cents or my $20,000 has no say in this thing. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Okay. So, well, let me ask you this then, before I let you go.
Okay.
They say, how can you produce? Do you think this is a true statement that they're producing with little content with a lot of people?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I mean, the people making the decisions have access to all the data and everything related to their timetables, their feedback from different departments saying, yeah, this is taking longer than we expected, or all that sort of thing.
Okay.
We don't have any of that, and so how we can pass judgments on their progress is silly to me.
We're outside of the loop, basically. No matter what, no matter how much the transparency, we're still only so much information we have.
Yeah, backseat development.
Okay, all right, Jay. There goes Jay with the old big horse pill again. I'm going to bring in Fist next, and then I'll bring in Pops. Fist, you there?
Yes. Hey, how are you?
Hey, bro.
Yes. All right. So my 2 cents on it. You talk about it earlier. Having more people does not necessarily speed up the process of development.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So again, to this person's, grief or gripe to this situation, they need to go back and watch that SCL where Jared and them talked about, because they break it down as to having more people coming into the company does not necessarily mean that things, speed up right away. Now, over time, yes, things may progress, faster, but as you start to add on new folks, you have to train those folks. So now time gets allocated to that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
there you
Okay.
go.
Numbers don't necessarily mean faster development. Okay. Thank you,
Yep.
Fist. Alrighty. Let me bring in Pops next. Pops, you there?
Yeah, yes, I am.
What you got, buddy?
Okay. My point is this: it's not the development depends on a lot of new tech. And I'll just mention one thing. So it's not that we just come in and we just get next month we have 50 missions, because those missions may depend on AI and what it can do, the path and things like so. So they're working on more than just piling on a bunch of missions. They're working on AI. They're working on server meshing, which connects to the AI instead of T-posing and things. So it's a lot of other tech things behind the scene that they're working on that doesn't equate to right now getting a whole bunch of missions in the future.
Okay. So there's some other things that maybe we don't know about that they're working on that might prevent things that just the basic things that players look for, like he mentions missions or locations, things of that nature.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right, Pops. Thank you, brother. Straight into the point there. Red. Let's bring in Red. Red Bear, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. What thoughts you got?
Yeah. Well, actually, it comes down to what people actually want. Sometimes they say, we want more stable builds. And then the other times they want more content. And this guy, gentleman wants more content. But then you have, the balancing, what other people want. And they want a stable experience. And you have to choose. And I have the feeling from the Spectrum forums that people want more stabilizing, that they can play the current game better.
Okay.
That's what I got from it.
Okay.
And it took so long. I don't know if I have this totally correct. Of this PES, they had to stabilize it, and all the developers had to work on it to make it work. I think it was almost a year ago that they said it was like working on something on fire, that they put it on fire or something, that they said.
Yeah.
So I think that was also holding them back to put other features in, like salvaging. Salvaging needed PES, of course.
Red, let me ask you a question. How often do you play Star Citizen? Just average, let's say within a week or month.
In a week, I think about 6 to 8 hours.
Okay. So let me ask you this question then, because the person says, how do they produce so little content, right, with so many people?
Yeah.
I was in the game the other day, and I think I average. I'm just going to give you an average here. I'm in Star Citizen 4 times a week at a minimum, maybe 5 times a week.
Yeah.
And each time I'm in anywhere from an hour to 4 hours, okay, per week. And that's been pretty consistent for me when I'm in there. There are some people who see Star Citizen. I want to keep this contained to Star Citizen and not include Squadron 42 into this part, okay? There are some people who come to the game and say there's nothing to do.
Yes.
But I can come in and play 4 days a week. You just said that you play an average of 8 hours a week. What do you think
2 hours a session?
Right. So what do you think is the difference between the person who feels there's nothing in Star Citizen or very little to do in Star Citizen versus a person like yourself or myself who comes to the game and we do find things to do?
Yeah, I think it boils down that they don't like some aspects in Star Citizen. Let's take Avenger 1. He's like a full drone PvP guy.
Right.
So he's not going to bother with mining, cargo, salvaging. It doesn't interest him. He is only doing one thing and one thing alone.
Okay.
So, and I think those people will have a quicker burnout than people like us doing all kinds of things in Star Citizen.
Okay.
Who have more options, more things to do, and also don't like. Well, I'm only talking for myself. I don't like the hand holding in games anymore. I like to do whatever I like. And as soon as I think like, okay, it's enough, like 2 hours or 3 hours a session, then I switch to something else, and then I do a 15 or half an hour something else, and then most likely I'll watch some YouTube after that.
Yeah.
Like chilling down. I mean, yeah, it has no use when you forcing a game upon yourself.
Yeah.
I used to do that also. I don't know if you had that as well with World of Warcraft, because you paid for it. You felt forced to play the game.
Yeah.
And I don't know if some people have the same feeling because they paid a lot of money, like the other gentleman, and then they feel forced to play a long time to get their money's worth.
So let me ask.
Maybe.
Go ahead.
Maybe he has the same thing.
So, and I was going to touch on something you just said. So do you think that when people say that there's nothing to do or little to do you think that it's because there's little to do, or do you think that there's the things that they want to do, they can't do? Like if I'm into, you mentioned Avenger 1 for, doing PvP, right?
Yes.
For him, he can do that. He can figure out ways to make that happen in the game, right? But if I want to do large scale mining, right? I want to go out and do really big stuff, and I can't do it because the Orion's not out, right? I mean, I might say, well, there's nothing for me to do in the game. I bought this Orion and that's what I wanted to do, and I don't have the Orion, so I can't do that. Or if I want to explore, right? If I want to explore, right? And there's only one system, right? And I've been looking forward to exploring. So my response is, oh, there's nothing for me to do in the game. So I want to distinguish that. Do you think that it's the fact that people can't do what they want to do, or do you think is that there's nothing to do in the game? Because that's the thing. Again, you and I can come into the game every week and find something to do, and other people say there's nothing to do.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the person, of course.
Okay,
we can just speculate. Some people, maybe put in too much money. The other people, they wait for an gameplay that is not in yet.
Yeah,
and they cannot figure out how to get around it,
navigate it.
And we have like a pirate club. I kind of forgot the name of the pirate guys, but at the beginning, pirating was not a thing, but they found a way around it to make it work anyways.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very inventive, that they used the EMP ships and then asked people for money to get their way.
So, now piracy. So you're going down the road that I want to go down, and I'm dragging you on a little bit because I've had this conversation with FC, so I'm going to bring it with you. Okay, I'm going to bring it with you.
That's fine.
Here's the part that I have to do with it. Colossal, he's in chat right now. He's a good friend of mine, and I know where his head is about this. The reason why people were able to figure out how to do piracy is because they were given a sandbox, and they were given the tools, and they figured out how to make it happen. It didn't have to be because they went to a kiosk and there was a mission. That's, even though we do have some missions like that, right? When something happens, it tells you to go here to respond. But these are the people who said, we've got the ships we need, we've got the EMP, and we've got the thing. In fact, I got pirated, by the way, y'all. I got pirated 2 days ago for the first time in 10 years in Star Citizen. I've never been pirated before. And I got fully pirated. It was a 1 hour and 30 minute ordeal for me. 1 hour and 30 minutes. And it was great.
Oh, wow.
It was great. It was great. And I'll tell you the story in a minute. But these people found the tools. Now, let me tell you what happened real quick, guys. I was moving some materials, right? I was doing some trading. I do this all the time. Every once in a while, when I want to relax, I load up a ship. I do some medium-sized trading, nothing big. On this particular occasion, Red, I decided that I was using a Connie, right? I used a Keela first, then I used a Taurus. The Taurus holds 168 SCU. Well, I was getting way more than that. So I said, you know what? I need to upscale my ship. So the next ship that in my fleet that I had that would have accommodated me would have been like a Starfarer. It holds 200 and something, right? But a Starfarer going in and out of atmosphere sucks, right? Super vulnerable, slow. So I'm not going to take that. The next thing after that was the Mole. Well, I'm not taking the Mole to be doing, moving the trade stuff either, because that thing's slow. The next ship after that would have been a Caterpillar, right? Which I hemmed and hawed about that, but I'm like, everybody sees a Caterpillar, they automatically go after it. So I opted for a C2. Now, when I got the C2, this is what I said. There were some people in chat with me when I said this. I said, I hate taking the C2 because it's nothing but a freaking, bullseye. It's like a red, blanket in front of a bull, right? I'm like, and I said it's going to draw attention. In the Connie, I don't draw attention. But I said, if somebody sees a C2 and they see you landing at a mining station, they know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
So I make my first run. Now, mind you, I've been doing this for weeks. I made my first run, no problem. I make my second run, and as I'm departing, I see somebody target locks me. Now, I'm at 4,000 feet. I got to get to 10,000 to get out, right, at this point. I'm like, okay, all I can do is floor it. First mistake, I'm by myself in a C2.
Yeah.
Second mistake, I got the fact that I'm by myself in a C2 is the second mistake. Third mistake, I'm in a C2 by myself. Okay, it's always the same mistake no matter what, right? So I'm trying to push my way out and see if I can get this space. If I can get this space, I might be able to loot this person. Next thing you know, missile lock comes on, missiles fly, I evade. I see the missiles flying past me. One hits me. Doesn't do enough damage, but I'm having problems. But they get within range on me and they quantum lock me. So now I can't jump. I finally make it to space. I can't jump. And they're wailing on me with their guns, slowly trying to wear down my shields. And I'm seeing my shields go down on one side. So I flip my ship around different ways so that they can't do it. I'm trying to increase shield power. I get the shields back up. This went on for 21 minutes.
Oh, God.
21 minutes over Microtech. I'll tell you where I was at. I was in Microtech. 21 minutes. After 21 minutes, a couple times the EMP hit me. I lost my complete power. Shields were, I lost everything, but they still couldn't get me. Power came back up. It happened twice. Power came back up. I was going. Mind you, guys, the C2 was not tricked out either. It was a stock one. To make a long story short, after 21 minutes, they finally disable me and I go into soft death. Now, this is the first time I've experienced soft death. I've never had it happen. Yeah. And most of the time when I've seen soft death, I've seen it when people have been over planets and they land and they, but I was in space. I didn't know that when you get out of your chair, you also lost gravity in your ship, right? So
you do. Yeah.
I while I'm in the seat, I hit F4 and I see my back ramp is open. So I already know what's getting ready to happen, right? They're going to come get me. So I get out of the seat. Oh, by the way, I had the desync thing kick in when I left the station, where you know how you put on your uniform and stuff, and then you look up and your stuff's not on you. I had that happen. I had that happen before I left. So I put everything back on, but the one thing that desynced on me again was my pistol, because I was carrying a pistol. I don't carry all that other crap. I had a pistol. Yeah. So I look down, there's no pistol, and now I'm EVAing. So I said, let me get out of the cockpit because I know that's where they're going to come. So I EVA through the hall. You know, a C2's got the long corridors, 3 doors. I'm going, I get through the third door. I don't see the elevator coming up. I said, I know they're coming to get me. So I go to the left, opposite of the elevator, and go all the way to the back where the engineering section is.
Yes.
And then I go back there and stoop down and I look and I can see the elevator from the back corner. And I see the elevator come up and I see the guy come out and start heading to the cockpit. So you know what my plan is, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get out and try to get his ship. Yeah. So I go to I EVA to the elevator. He's gone. I get to the elevator. I'm like, come on, button. Come on. You know, C2 elevator super slow. I get on it. I go down. I come outside. Sure enough, his C2 is parked in the back by my ramp. Lights are flashing. There's also a Connie parked next to it. I said, if I can get to that C2, this is going to be great. Soon as I get to just about come out from underneath my ship, I see the Cuddy Blue move. I'm like, oh shoot, there's somebody on there.
Yeah. So
I EVA back all the way to the front of my ship. By this time, I know that I see the elevator going up in my C2.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, I have no weapons or anything. So I EVA to the front. I go around to the front of the ship and I go into, you know how the C2 is designed? It's got those 2 holes in the side and the wings. I EVA into there and hide, right?
Yeah.
So I go in there. They don't see me. And next thing you know, I'm sitting there, about maybe 6, 7, 8 minutes goes by, and another C2 shows up. This one pulls up, spins around, goes back to my ship, backs up to me, and now they're starting to offload my stuff. Okay, I had about $300,000 worth of material on there, so that was probably like maybe a fifth of the C2 filled up. It wasn't even, nowhere near full.
Yeah,
I sat there for 45 minutes while they were unloading my ship. And I'm trying to call people, tell people, hey, I need help. There was nobody in my chat that I was at in my org that could help me. Finally, 2 people popped up. They were all the way at Crusader. They jumped in their ships and started heading toward me. And as they're approaching, they're getting closer and closer. They're down to 5 million kilometers, 2 million kilometers. They're almost there. I said, okay, here's the deal. There's a Connie. There's a C2. There's a Cutlass Blue. The Cutlass Blue can EMP you and take him out first. My buddy shows up. Omar shows up. He's in a freaking Drake Corsair. He lights I said, don't blow up the C2. You'll kill everybody. You'll kill all of us. So he lights up the Cutlass. Boom! It blows up. And I could hear the guys in the thing up above me moving the boxes and stuff. Then he lights on the Connie. Boom! Blows that up, right? So now it's just the C2 there. Unfortunately, the C2 takes off. He goes after the C2. They get away, right? A couple of the guys are stranded there with me. They still don't know that I'm there, right? And then ultimately, the guy with the Corsair comes back to pick me up. I go to the top of the Corsair to get in and hit the elevator. Somebody target locks him. He pulls off too quickly. I get hit and unconscious. And so anyway, that was it. But the guys in the chat, here's the thing that's cool. The thing that was cool was the people who pirated me were messaging me in chat. And they were like, Griff, good game. You did a great job evading us, blah, 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 blah. And I said, hey, good pirating. You guys, that was one of those moments that happens in the game that Chris Roberts always talks about, right? It didn't take a mission giver. It didn't take a kiosk, but the players used their imagination and did something. Yes. So the reason why I'm telling this long story, guys, is because this idea of that there being no content, you can make your own content. But I get it. I know people want to be able to find things they can go group up with and do. But believe me, to your point, Red, there are some things that people don't want to do in the game. Like, I'm not a big bunker person, right? Yeah. I know people that'll bunker by them. They'll take off all their clothes and run down in their underwear and kill people by hand, right? I mean, they love doing that. But you know what? If you told me and said, hey, Griff, I want to go do a bunker, I'll go with you in a heartbeat. It's not my thing, but just because of the social dynamic of it, I love doing it when I do it with somebody else, So I'm just telling that story because, to your point, there are some people that may say, well, I don't want to do this in the game. I don't want to do that. But there are things that you can do in the game. Yeah. Okay.
And the most best things, like you said, are the unexpected things.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, Red, thanks for bearing through my story, buddy.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay. All right, let me bring Fast Card in. FC. Are you there?
Hey,
there he is.
I'm back. I think I'm looking at the screen that says this person didn't back the game for that game. They backed for Star Citizen.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
With them.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
One with them. Yeah. But you talk about so Fitzface brought this up like a couple of SEOs ago, not more than a couple, but like a month and a half maybe. Mm-hmm. They brought up a point about how it takes time to train new people because they did lose some people who decided to go elsewhere. Mm-hmm. But once those people are trained, I think the chip production and drug production in general will go faster. Hopefully, it'll go faster. Mm-hmm. So I guess they're still in the middle of training, but in a bit or however long it takes, I mean, we'll hopefully see more content down the pipeline. Also, they have the Montreal studio now, so that's getting up and running.
Yeah, absolutely. Slayer, Slayer TNT. Thank you for that follow.
Thank you. But I do wonder how many hours Squadron 42 will have playable when it's finally out. Like, I mean, as long as it's been taken, I'm expecting an 80-hour game. But maybe that's just me.
Yeah. Who is that? Purple Yeti. Thank you for that super chat. $5. I didn't see that pop in. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed.
I didn't see that.
I'm glad you enjoyed my story. It was fun. It was really, really fun. Anytime something like that happens in the game for me, I think it is super awesome. There's Chew. Chew is also in Super Chat. Thank you for the $10 donation, Bruce. We really appreciate that. You are the man. It's good talking to you as always, buddy. I appreciate that. I keep forgetting that we got to keep our eye on our YouTube folks because you guys are out there too. Thank you guys for those donations. We appreciate it. Fast Cart, I still wrestle with this idea of Star Citizen being this sandbox. And I know when people, and I do get it when people feel like, if people say I can't do what I'd like to do in the game because maybe I own this particular ship, or like, you and I, like the Odyssey, right? Exploration, we still haven't really found out what exploration is going to mean in Star Citizen. You know what I mean? Like fully laid out, right? So if you're, and we know a tremendous amount of the community is interested in exploration, but if I've only got this one system and I've visited all the planets and the moons, right? It's like, okay, how much more exploration? I've been in the caves. What else is there for me to do? I can understand that person feeling like, well, the thing I want to do, I can't do in the game. But I think that this general statement, especially with the idea of saying they produce so little content, I think Red or someone mentioned, or Jay mentioned it, we don't know completely what's behind the curtain. And what runs on a single server at CIG's offices, right? They can have a whole lot of stuff that's there running on their computer, but to put it into the PTU for us to play as a mass group, if the tech's not there to allow those things to happen, you got problems, right? And then what happens is we get the content, but then we complain about performance, lag, bugs, and everything else.
Remember 318.
Remember 318, right? That is something to think about. All right, FC, thank you, buddy.
And for me, like I'm waiting for it. Like I'm waiting for science gameplay. Like, but that's coming down the line.
What is that going to look like?
Overclocking and all that good stuff. Because that's what it never. It's not primarily known for, but it's one of the pieces of the endeavor. And I'm waiting for my merchant man, but we talked about that already. So so once those two ships come in the game, I can see myself just hopping into the game more, but until then, like this person complaining about content and not much content. Like I can see where they're coming from. There's not much content for them or me, but for other people, there's plenty of content.
Right. And again, if people individualize it and say for the things I would like to do, I get it, right? But I do have issue when there's this blanket statement that there's nothing to do or it's so little being produced. So okay, thanks, FC. Nope. All righty, let's bring Kai Zin in. Kai, hey, buddy.
Hello.
Back again.
So, your story was great, and I love it, but that comes under the heading of making your own fun, and I respect that. But to the guy's point, the guy's literally saying, "Hey, man, you're not giving us new shit. Where's the new shit?" And the answer is, he answered his own question. Yes, most of it's going to Squadron 42. There is a lot of stuff that's happening on Star Citizen, but that stuff is persistent entity streaming, the server meshing, all of that stuff.
Right.
This year, don't expect to see a bunch of new shit in Star Citizen this year that's like playable loop stuff. Expect to see a lot of tweaks and focus and work being put in on the server side stuff, server architecture, whatever. That stuff's not sexy, but you need that to build the stuff that you want on top of it.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff where they're kind of close to the server budget. Like they're having to remove Port Alazar. They're having to remove, what do you call it? Levski. They're having to remove stuff so that they can keep, under the budget for what they've got, because of the server shit. So for right now, don't in any way get it twisted. I'm sure that they're putting out tons of locations and stuff and all this whatever, and they're being told the item budget is not there. This stuff comes after we fix servers. So and yes, they've told us already they're moving everybody, not literally everybody, but damn near everybody to Squadron. The purpose is, push Squadron, get the stuff sorted, make money, get that released, have a new wave of money, and implement that stuff, whatever. DK Wildcat, thank you for this sub. But that's where it's at. It is what it is. It's like right now is the time for, what do you call it? Like server stuff.
Oh yeah.
And stuff that you don't see.
All the tech back end stuff and everything else. Yeah.
Until, good Lord willing, and everybody's got the feeling this is the year. This is the sitcom that we get big Squadron news, just like last year and the year before and the year before. But like whatever, like hopefully, fingers crossed, whatever.
Yeah,
but like, now is the time for those people like yourself who make your own fun, who are in it for like an experience and whatever. Yes, go and play it and enjoy it. For those people who are like, no, that's not enough. I don't like it. I'm not having fun. You've done your part. You put in a couple of bucks to help things move along. Take some 6 months off. Go play other games. Go play, have fun 60 days from now. Starfield. Go play it. Go play some New World. Go play some this one or that one or the other, whatever. Have some fun. Don't beat your head up against a wall, making yourself unhappy. Go make yourself happy. And in a year or two, when they have the server meshing fixed and now they can actually use all of this item budget stuff and bring new crap for people to have fun with, then go have fun with it. It's not like, if you're doing a thing that makes you unhappy, stop doing that thing.
Yep, there you go.
Or get marriage counseling, because I don't, whatever. All right, I'm out.
Thanks, Kai. Okay. Real quick, some shout outs. DK Wildcat, thank you so much for that sub. Tateo. I'm not sure which one it is. I know I'm slaughtering it. Forgive me. Thank you for that sub already and the follow. Thank you. Appreciate you guys being there. And Chew, thank you so much for the 500 bits. Thank you for the 50th anniversary. Thank you for our 50th episode, I should say. Thank you. We really do appreciate that. Okay, last but not least, let's bring in Admiral Kusanagi, and then we're going to hit our last topic for the thing. Admiral, you there?
Hey there. Happy anniversary, Griff.
Thank you. 50th episode, 50 down, another blah, 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 to go.
100,000 to go. I'm a little confused with that. You went out and did your own, you created your own mission. You told me, I know we've talked about this before, you do cargo a lot, and I go out and do salvaging. I make my own missions doing that, make my own gameplay doing that. I'm questioning, what's the difference between that, a solo player making a gameplay for themselves in the PU, and say a small or medium or large org saying, hey, let's go make something else, for us to do in the game.
Right.
It's really close.
Yeah.
The only issue I have is if it's stable or not.
Yeah, I mean, here's the difficulty, right? The state of the game, how can I say this? The state of the game and how that state of the game is handled when you add more people becomes a factor. And let me say it this way. If all things were equal for every person, let's say that I've got an org of 10 people. And if all things were equal, when it comes down to the state of the game, performance-wise, internet-wise, and everything, then we all have a common place where we can work from and play the game, right? But if, for example, your computer and my computer are two different computers with different internet links that for some reason or other, I have terrible, internet connecting. If 30Ks are a factor, or if there's some weird thing that even though you and I are in the game together, your game crashes, but my game doesn't, if there are all these variables and everybody's coming and being impacted by these different variables, there can be frustration with the more people that are involved in playing the game. Some people may say after 2 crashes, I'm out of here. You might play the game and I'm not talking about like a 30K. I'm just saying you're playing the game and you don't have a problem. The person who's helping you out, who's piloting your ship, it's a 30K, can't get back into the game, then there becomes a lot of frustration. When I go in as a single player, the only thing I have to worry about at that moment is me. I'm going in knowing that the game could possibly, don't get me wrong, when I was doing that mission, like that, I honestly said this, while I was waiting and while these guys were pirating me and taking this stuff out, in the back of my mind, there was a little bitty thing saying, I hope this game doesn't 30K while this is going on. Because I wanted to see how it played out. I actually wanted it to play out. Whether my people made it there to help me or not, but that thing was there because it's a reality. Many of us have been there before, right? You go out and salvage, you go out and mine. You're actually on your way back to the station to drop your stuff off. You're pulling into the garage and you get a 30K, right? So, but when you're by yourself, you may be willing to, okay, my head is there. But when you've got other people who come to the game with different expectations of the performance of the game, of what you're going to do, you can't control that. And that makes it difficult for group play sometimes. Now, if everybody's on that same page, and when I've been with Tess before, and we've been doing something and the game crashes, and everybody says, and then everybody just jumps back in. Then I've had people say, oh man, I'm out of here. I can't take this. You know,
yeah, for the most part, it's the single people that can't it's a lot more enjoyable, like you guys said before, if you're with more people, because everybody laughs about it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to, like, I question what the gameplay people are looking for in a finished Star Citizen PU. Like, say they have 100 systems today. It's like, you're not. I mean, Jumptown was a player-driven event first go, and now they turn into this thing that repeats and repeats and repeats. Right. It's just the same old thing. So really, and like, you know, Xenothreat, same old thing. And it really comes down to, yes, Sega's going to put out some events here and there, and there's a lot of lore, but I think it's like what people want to go to explore and do themselves, and go check out Selling and go to this location, and let's do a trade run and see what that provides me. And you're putting a plan together with themselves or with a group of friends or with total strangers to find something to do.
Yeah. Let me say this real quick, and I'll respond to something you just said. By the way, guys, if you guys want to come in and talk, there's a link there. You can come into our Discord and share your thoughts about what we're talking about, because Admiral mentioned some very good points here. You know, for the single player, I think when you said what are people looking for, first of all, one thing that we always have to tell people is that this stuff is being tested. Jumptown and Xenothreat are tests. They are not necessarily the final product. And I think what happens is that when these dynamic events come out, some people will say, well, it ain't that dynamic because they announced it. That's true. It's not dynamic because they're announcing it. They're testing it because later on there will be things that will trigger the event. You won't get that announcement. You won't get the email saying Xenothreat is coming out. So a lot of people don't look at the game from what the game is supposed to be later. They're looking at it at where it is now. And quite often they think that the way it is now is the way it's going to be later. If you haven't been around long enough, and I'm not saying that in a negative way, but if you haven't been around long enough to hear all the ISCs, the SCLs, the chairman's clubs, the whatever you want to call them, 10 for chairman, to know the progression of how development is supposed to happen, it is very easy to come in and think, when I do Jumptown, oh, that's the gameplay. No, it's not. That's the test bed. So understand that. That is the test bed for later on. And to your point, Admiral, Jumptown became something that generated from the community. The community found this drug place nobody knew about, CIG hadn't talked about, and all of a sudden created a big ruckus about it. CIG said, okay, we're seeing some data here that we can learn about how people respond, performance, and everything else. Let's go ahead and now try to do this so we can use it to our advantage for testing. But there are people who probably genuinely think that that's going to be the game. And it's not. Jumptown may be in the game, but that is not the game. Its current state is not the game. And there's very little in the game. I can't think of any mechanic in Star Citizen right now that says this is the way it's going to be in the end. Even mining, as far as it has evolved, we thought mining was done. And now they've gone back in and redone it and changed it again. We thought that sucker's already fleshed out. They've told us they still got some more stuff they want to do.
Who's the godfather of the economy?
Tony Z.
Tony Z. Yeah, so I mean, you're right. So when his economy thing comes in, and like, you know, you could be like, oh, well, there's nothing good in the system anymore because they took all the good stuff out, so you have to, you know, move to a different location. So it's definitely going to be economy driven. But again, it's still like, you know, what do you want to do? I feel like it's still going to be up in the air with, I think it's that a lot of people are going to have to decide what they want to do and how they want to play. And hey, there's something that happened because this battle is breaking out because of this trade route that, you know, is in the game. And like you're saying, and you have to decide, is that something I want to do, or am I, you know, I just want to do my mining today. So yeah, right. I can see where you're going.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, Admiral. Good stuff. All righty, that's Admiral Kusanagi. Yeah, Kai, what mechanic is fully fleshed out in Star Citizen? Buying stuff. That one they've got down, right? Marketing and stuff have that down to the T. Okay. Yeah, you guys are sharing some really great stuff. Purple Yeti says, have you ever heard the say 100 different doctors, 100 different diagnoses? Star Citizen is, what this thing is moving here. We have Halo, Eve, Elite Dangerous, Skyrim, yes, COD, Battlefield, lots of stuff out there. You're absolutely right. Great stuff, guys. Thank you guys for sharing with that. Yeah, I can understand why people feel that if there's little content because of the things that they want to do in the game. But I also think that, and I know I'm going to get some people upset when I say this, sometimes gamers' imaginations have become pretty small. They're not like they used to be. I'm just going to say that for the record. We've gotten really lazy. We expect the developers to just create every scenario for us in an MMO. Yeah, I know. How dare you, right? I know. Okay, gang. Enough of that particular subject. Let's go ahead and get to our third one. What is our third one here? Let me take that off, put that on. Okay, now this one, gang, you got to follow me on this one because this was a super long post. It was super, super long, and there was no way I was going to put all this on the screen. This guy wrote a freaking soliloquy. So just kind of go along with me on this one. I'll read it for you, though, if you don't want to bring it up, but it is a long read, and I really want to get your thoughts on it. Star Citizen is about soul. Did I pick this because of Soul Citizens? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I got to drink some water because there's a lot to read. Okay, here we go. This is by Washbear. I don't know a better way to say this, but the experience in Star Citizen has always been about amazement, immersion, and the feeling of freedom and vastness and quote-unquote soul that spaceflight and exploration has. There are lasting connections made in the brain when you experience something, and it is an emotional component. We all remember the first time we logged into the PU, saw a crowd of other players around the ASOP terminals in Port Olisar, stepped through the airlock and felt the change from atmosphere to zero pressure.
Very happy to be here.
Felt the clank of our boots. Felt the clank of our boots as we walked or ran through the catwalks to the landing pad. Felt the sense of vastness as space opened up before us, and there, looming in the sky above our heads, was the unimaginably large presence of the Crusader gas giant floating just beyond reach. Everyone remembers and cherishes the first experience because it was not just another game, it was emotional and profound. Over the years, it feels like that is fading. And the upcoming removal of Port Olisar and its replacement with yet another generic prefab station is just the latest in a long line of changes that seem to be attacking the soul of the project. I don't know about other backers here, but I have never felt any kind of connection to any of the R&R bases or Bajini or Tressler or Everest. None of those stations stand out to me. None of them has any of the profundity or impact on the way I play the game. I don't consider them any more with regard than I would any random FPS weapon or cargo crate. They just exist. They have a purpose, but beyond that, they have no character, and without character, they have no reason to be retained in memory. Despite landing on the R&R stations hundreds of times over the last few years, I honestly couldn't name a single one of them, beyond knowing that at least on them has Glenn in their name. They all feel the same, they all feel generic, they all feel run-of-the-mill. Mediocrity has never been what Star Citizen is aimed for. The reason we're still here after 10 years of development is because the project is always aimed for and beyond the sky. It aimed to be the best of the best and to put all other simulators and space games to shame. I'm not feeling that anymore. It feels like we're seeing corners cut and quality passed by for the sake of ease, and I have never known Star Citizen's developers to take the easy way out before now. We're still waiting because they're supposedly working on tech that has never been done before. And we're still willing to wait because we've been promised something never done before. If we were willing to settle for less, we wouldn't be here dealing with one of the frustrating game sessions after another, chock full of bugs and glitches and crashes, spending far more than anyone reasonably should on things we can't even fly yet. We'd have moved on. So developers, now is not the time to start cutting corners. Listen to the feedback and concerns of backers, customers, and testers are bringing forth and put it into action. We're not here on Spectrum posting and commenting on dozens of topics a day just to be ignored. The backers have every bit as much a part of this project as the developers are, and we want to see it succeed just as much as you do. Honest thoughts and opinions, criticisms and solutions are not noise to be shut out. Okay. A lot there. Person expresses some very interesting perspectives. And I'm going to bring in Red Bear 1, and see what he has to say. Red, you there?
Yes, I'm back again.
I know there's a lot of information there I read, so hopefully you caught it all.
Yeah, most of it.
Okay. All right.
I have to kind of agree with him with a lot of things. That I have also the feeling that, CIG cut some corners for quality of life.
Okay.
I see it as taking a shortcut in some cases.
Okay.
Examples is for me that they make the quantum jump inside of atmosphere. I think that's immersion breaking. Some people hate it, but I like it because it gives you extra danger from piracy. I mean, you cannot jump away in the old days, and now you can. Now you can just 10K up and you can jump away. So the time you are in danger is a lot shorter. Also, when you look a lot further ahead, it also it gives you kind of protection. If the travel times are longer, it's also for you a time buffer, that they can get reinforcements back in to your placement where you have your defenses up. Now, in 5-10 minutes tops, you can go anywhere from in the Star Citizen system what we have now. Maybe that will be different with Pyro, but at the moment it's almost crossing the road and you're there. Yeah. And how many times did I said about the Willy Wonka elevators in the space stations? I'm really, sorry guys, I'm not always positive.
No. Honest is good. Be honest. Yeah. It's funny.
I'm always annoyed when I see those elevators go everywhere.
Let me ask you a question. Did it when Crusader? Remember originally when you came to Crusader, you'd be like 90,000 kilometers out, right? You had to fly down. Did that bother you, or did it not bother you? It didn't bother you.
I loved it. I loved it.
Okay. It's interesting because I had a guy who came into a chat. I was in my org, and a guy came in the chat, and he was hollering about it, right? Yeah. And then one of us told him, well, you know why that is. It's a gas giant, and blah, blah, blah. He said, and you know what he said after that? Oh, well, now I get it. Yeah. And he was fine. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying he was enthusiastic, but what he saw was that there was some method to the madness, because he didn't realize he's looking at Crusaders like he's looking at Microtech. You know what I mean? He didn't realize gas giant, much bigger, distance, everything else. You know, once he heard that, he was willing to, whether you want to call it accepted or tolerated, I don't know, but he was okay once he found that out, right? Okay, I hear what you're saying, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the same with, I don't know if you remember the debacle about the restaurants on the C2 or the food.
There was no kitchen. There was no kitchen when the M2 came out. Yes.
Because of the long travel, people needed that, and the whole argument. And now people don't want to have this long travel. So why have we actually the kitchen? It's all those things that I go like, why? Why are we even talking about this then?
That's true, right? Yeah, people saw there was a kitchen on the C2, so how come we don't have one on the M2? I get it. Yeah. Okay.
And the same with the, I personally like the trams that they take long, because it's kind of, well, I miss the train so often that I saw it running away and I had to wait. But in real life, I mean. It kind of made me the same deal when I missed the train when they started at Hurston. Maybe you remember that as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was 5 minutes.
Yeah. You used to wait almost 5 minutes to wait for the train. I remember that. Absolutely.
Like, and now they're like
every 30 seconds or whatever. Right.
Yeah, the bullet train.
Right.
Here comes another one, guys.
Right.
But yeah, maybe we're getting a bit too overboard with this.
Well, no, I think that there's, again, I go back to my statement I said earlier, and I think you said it too. There's still the dynamic of this is testing, right? It's not what's going to be finally written in stone. And you're right.
Yeah.
I remember when we first used to go from Port O to Hurston, it took 13 minutes. To go from Port O to Hurston took 13 minutes. If you were in a slower ship, it could even take longer. But to your point, Stanton is considered a small system. When you get into Pyro, which is 2.5 times bigger, when you get into Nyx, which is 5 times bigger, it won't feel that way. You know, it won't feel that way.
One more thing I really want to emphasize.
Sure.
We want always for testing, we want the things fast. But for the newer people who are getting used to this fast thing, they don't know it will be getting slower later on. And then they will be very loud and annoyed that it's not fast anymore. So they have to get readjusted to the new gameplay, and they get upset and angry.
That's
because
true.
I had this conversation with someone who was very upset when I said, like, well, don't get used to this. It will get worked back, and then you have to do this all but manually.
Right.
And he says, yeah, then I quit the game, he says.
Wow.
Yeah, really.
Wow.
And so I rather have they put this long stuff in so people know what they're getting.
Yeah.
Then we have to work back again because people are not used to it anymore and they're getting upset.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And again, if people, that's why I said earlier, people think that the state of the game, the way it is now, is the way it will be later. And I've even encouraged people when it comes to when they make purchases. You know, I try to tell people to wait, but when they do, I try to tell them, don't buy the ship based on what it does now, because it could change. You know, buy it because of what it's supposed to do later. And hope that that's the goal that they reach, you know, because I've known people who bought ships and then something changed in it. And then you're like, I got to melt this thing. It doesn't, they nerfed it or they did this or they did that. And I'm like, don't base it on where the ship is now, you know. But anyway.
Same with the reclaiming times. You remember that?
Yes.
That was a long time ago.
Yes.
And I would try to warn people a long time ago, bigger ships will take longer to reclaim. Because of the insurance. And then, they talked about the whole economy. That the materials have to be there, else they cannot build the ship or rebuild the ship. And then it will take even longer.
Yep. Good point. Okay, Red.
So that it will be worse then.
Okay. Thank you, Red.
Okay.
All right. Let's bring in Kai's in. Kai guy. This is the most I think I've had you on in a while, buddy. Good to hear your voice.
Yeah. It's good to see you. Yeah. All right, so this guy wrote a book. I'm just going to address 2 points real quick, and then I'm going to hop out to make room because you got a bunch of people up in the upper room, and I know somebody's going to want to come in and tag some of these points. I just want to get it, make room, get in and out.
Gotcha.
So the first is his point where he says, Star Citizen is blank. Whenever somebody says Star Citizen is blank, my feeling is, you need to add the words to me to that sentence because he says Star Citizen is about soul. Maybe you think Star Citizen is about unique experience. And maybe I think Star Citizen is about combat. And maybe Fastcard thinks Star Citizen is about trade. And somebody else thinks it's about blah, blah, blah. And like, so whenever anybody says this is whatever, like that, okay, like
it's very subjective, right?
I'm
very
reminded
subjective
of the words of the Big Lebowski. Well, yeah, man, that's just like your opinion, man. Like, okay, that's to you what it's about.
Right.
And then he goes on to write like, I'm not liking this, I'm not liking that, I'm having blah 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 blah. And he sums it up with his big point, which is the line, quote, so developers, now is not the time to start cutting corners. Okay, that's wrong, and I'm going to get back to that.
Right.
Listen to the feedback and concerns of the backers, customers, testers, and bring forth and put it into action. That's also wrong. So now is exactly the time to start cutting corners. This is the part in game development. When you first start off, you've got a blank sheet of paper, and you get to, you know, oh, you promise everything to everybody, and oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Like I said early on the show you did this morning, like game development is basically a lie. You create a thing in your head that's not true, that's not real, that's not whatever, and then you start to implement it. And when you first started off, it's this blank sheet and anything can be anything. You could have a game that's 90% about mining or 90% about combat or 90% about hauling or 90% about, I don't know, selling shit on the train back and forth. Like, you could go anywhere with it. It's an endless realm of possibilities. But the fact of the matter is you have to start to make some choices. And those choices means I'm going to give you this, but not these 5 other things. And once the game comes out, you can iterate, you can then do more, you can then add expansions and you can add other systems and other whatever. But if we literally want to say, make no compromises ever, fantastic. Look forward to Star Citizen coming out in 2345 when we're already living on other planets. Or like maybe now is the time to start making some compromises, some choices. I'm not saying give it all up. I'm not Yes, we love this project because it has been unflinching. But it has to, at a certain point, just get the damn product out the door as V1. And then, yes, over time, yes, you want to spend the next 100 years, you want to create a trust and have generations of people working on a game, I'm down. I'm here for the experience. But you have to start cutting corners. And then as to the second part of his line where he says, you need to listen to all the feedback from the whatever. No, you don't. That's stupid. Do not do that. Do not do that, because the feedback from everyone is telling you to go in 900 different directions at once. That's a recipe for Congress. You want to have everything decided by committee? Congrats getting nothing done. You're going to create a submarine with screen doors and big monster truck wheels on it for some reason because you listen to everybody. People are stupid. Don't listen to people. People are dumb. You're the genius game creator guy. You need to follow your vision. You need to make some tough choices. You need to get a product out the door. So in short, with love and respect to Mr. Washbear, you just need to do the exact opposite of everything he suggested, and you'll be fine, Chris Roberts. Go get it done.
Okay. All right, Kai. Thank you, brother.
I'm out, brother.
Kai. No, he's right. I don't know if we need to listen to everybody's point of view. And we know CIG, they've told us, the devs have told us that they look at Spectrum, they see our opinions, they appreciate them, but honestly, they cannot embrace all of them. There are things that have been introduced into the game that a lot of us miss. We joke around all the time about Tessa Bannister, and some of that stuff is nostalgic, right? But is Tessa relevant to the game now? She may be relevant later. We may see her return, but if it doesn't fit within the game of what's needed as this game evolves, maybe we won't see it come back again, So, I think there's a bit of nostalgia. He opens up this letter talking about the first time we went to Porto, and I remember that. But for a lot of players, Porto does not have that memory. It's not there for them. Porto is a station that they don't even use, All right, let me bring in Sir Togi, and then we got Jay, and then we're going to get ready to move on. Sir Togi, how are you?
What up?
Been a while, man. How you been?
Oh, just recovering from some surgery and whatnot.
Oh, okay. Hope you're doing well, man.
I am.
Good.
I am. And I got to say that I kind of agree with this guy.
Okay.
I think they should keep PO.
Okay.
All right, because you add a cargo deck to an open pad, and I'm gonna have so much fun doing stuff. So much fun. I'm gonna run up there with a tractor beam. I'm gonna yeet a cargo container from you, run like 10 feet away, do some like karate moves, like it's an old Chuck Norris movie, and then just slap that in the back of my ship and go sell it.
You've got your own reasons for why you wanted to stay there. Okay, Sir Togi. Well, listen, man, seriously, I hope you are recovering well, okay? Do what you got to do,
Yeah, just some knee surgery. I'm all good.
Okay, well, yeah, but still, do what you got to do to get better. No relapses, okay? We want you to be healed up real good. Thanks for stopping in, brother.
Yep.
Okay. Togi says, watch out, y'all. He's going to be looking for you. Last but not least, let's bring in Jay. Jay Voodoo,
Hey, how's it going today?
Hey, brother.
All right, so for the audience out there, come by, join us on Discord, because after the show, there are discussions that go on and carry these topics further on, and they're and engaging. And again, the community is what many people find enjoyable about the Star Citizen experience. So I invite everyone to join in on those types of discussions. My reply is mostly to Kai, and you know, he can come in and reply and have a little dynamic, you know, thing, or we can just carry it on after the show. Just in general, anytime I hear the word need, my brain goes, or what? You know, if you think something's so important it needs to be in there, what are the consequences if it's not? And I think that's a word I choose not to use.
Yeah, personal preference. It is subjective, right? It's subjective. Right. I think that, you know, again, this interesting post, because the post, you know, when it opened up, I was thinking they were going, you know, one direction, right? And as the letter continued, it went kind of a different direction. And it's a very subjective letter. The person says, for example, that the R&R bases, Bajini, Tressler, Everest, mean nothing to them, right? And again, that's why I kind of talked about the nostalgia side of this. A lot of us who miss Port O, if we had to deal with the realities of it, it's nostalgic for us. If we want to talk about its functionality in the game, it's very limited. I won't even talk about the technical aspects, because CIG talked about the tech reasons why they have to move it out. It's one of the oldest, what's the term? Not artifact. Asset. Thank you. It's one of the oldest assets in the game. There's a lot of technology there that makes it very cumbersome whenever there are updates to the game. So could somebody say, well, could they have just made the same station and just updated it? Yeah, they could have, but that still would have been limiting, because if you know the lore of Crusader, the planet, Crusader, as you guys know, has a huge manufacturing base, and resources have to be brought in and out of that station. Port Olisar is a way station. It's the place where, when we bring things to Crusader, that's where you park, you unload, and then those things are transferred down to Crusader, down to Orison. And right now, that station does not fulfill that within lore or the dynamic of gameplay. Now, I was around when Port O first came out. I still go to Port O to do little things. There's certain weapons and things that I know I can get at Port O. It's one of those general places where you can get things. But I also know, as they mentioned, there's no medical facility. They're introducing the new policing thing with, you know, when you do bounties and being able to bring in bodies and store them. That's not in there. There's a lot of stuff that they want to have at that particular station. I don't connect the changing of that to some of the things that are listed here, such as cutting corners, because it takes more work to do that. The mediocrity dynamic of it, I've heard people talk about the fact that they wish the stations looked different, but CIG also told us that each system will have stations that are reminiscent of that particular system. So stations in Pyro are not going to look like stations in Stanton, but stations in Stantons may have some familiarity about them. Now, I know people have their own imaginations of what they think a space station should look like, or something they've been influenced from movies or science fiction reading. I get that. But all that uniqueness that this person is talking about in their thing takes time and labor and work and money to create. And if we want to have a tremendous amount of character and uniqueness in every facility, in every place we go, be prepared for this game to be coming out in 3050, because the amount of work that it takes just to replicate what we have currently. I think some of you saw on ISC and SEO where they showed us all the variations of stations that they came up. There were dozens of them that they had, but they have to pick these based upon functionality, come up with some really weird stuff. But those elevators that are physicalized have to be able to flow through those buildings. If we were just doing the teleporting crap, you could create whatever freaking station you want. But the reality of it is that mechanic has to be able to be accommodated by what is structurally built within the game. And so there are all these other things that we don't think about as gamers that the developers have to deal with. And so I understand the nostalgia that this person feels. I understand the fact that they maybe want to see more uniqueness and more character, but there's a limit, because to create that character and limit takes a lot of work and time. It's taken a lot of work and time to get where we are now. But if you want to have that level of uniqueness, it's enough that we're going to have to create landing zones, that we've got to create costumes and clothing for different people, aliens, alien ships, all this stuff. And the most you're worried about is whether a space station looks unique. We'll be here forever. So I understand what their desire is, but I think in the real world, when it comes to developing the game, it's not feasible. That's just my 2 cents on that. So, all right.
So my previous statements about, Cloud Imperium being a for-profit business, and they are acting on accord to that, and that we as gamers, pledgers, we have no say in development of that horse pill that we've been talking about before. I'll add another element to it now.
Okay.
And that this game has exactly one customer, and that is Chris Roberts. Whatever Chris Roberts
he wants. Yeah.
This is his magnum opus. This is how he's going to form his legend. I don't think that there's going to be any cutting corners for his legacy project.
Yeah. Okay.
And, as far as borrowing ideas for other games that are coming out, I don't think that's going to happen either. I could be wrong. That's, just my speculation.
Okay.
But Chris Roberts is going to do what Chris Roberts wants to do it, and he has over $500 million to do that.
And more coming in.
Exactly.
All right, Jay. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it.
All right. Good thoughts, you guys. Great sharing, great ideas. We appreciate all that good stuff that you guys shared. Let's I want to get ready to talk about, where am I going? I'm going back here, and I'm getting rid of that, and I'm going to go here. Yeah, there we go. Let me bring this up on the screen. As I mentioned earlier, when we first kicked off the show, as you guys know, we are doing our fundraiser for St. Jude Children's Hospital, the Play Live campaign, which we started last month in June, and we're carrying it all the way through October 22nd, CitizenCon weekend, 21st and 22nd. Our goal is to raise $10,000, and we have already raised our first 2 tiers, $500, $1,000, and now we are ready to go toward our $2,000 mark. I do want to encourage you. I know you guys have been throwing subs and bits and all that other great stuff. We truly appreciate that, because that helps us run all the stuff we're doing, software, subscriptions, all the stuff that we have to pay for to do the show. It helps with us giving out the giveaways, but we really want you to give consideration to giving toward the St. Jude charity. We really appreciate those of you who have already given. If you don't have the funds to give, not a problem. Tell somebody else about what we're doing. Tell them about our channel so that they can tune in and watch. We are at $1,076. We really want to start moving that dial, bring it up to the next tier of $2,000. As you guys see on the list there, when we hit the $2,000 mark, we're going to do a giveaway for a UEE Navy jacket and also the UEE Navy cap. We've given one of those away before, with both of those away before. We want to do it again. After that, we're going to go to our $3,000, where you guys get to see us really work at a 12-hour live stream. So we're going to be able to have guests on. Soul Citizens will be here. We're going to do some conversation, giveaways, whole bunch of fun stuff to be able to raise money. So you guys see all the tiers there. I'm not going to go through all of them because there are a lot of them there, but we really want you guys to pass on the information. When you see the tweet go out, tweet it to other people, because we really would love to be able to raise this money. No hot tub streams, Kai. That ain't happening. But we do want to be able to raise a really decent amount of money for the kids from St. Jude Children's Hospital. I'm going to show you guys the video real quick for that, and then we're going to get ready for the our guests. Our guests are going to be here, the player haters. So let's take a quick look at the video, though. If it plays, which it did not play. Give me 1 second here. Oh, it's because I didn't change the thing. Here we go. And it still didn't play. Let me see what's going on with this video. Where are you? Here we go. All right. I got to hit it one more time. Sorry, guys. Did it play through that time? The video's not playing. Huh. Let me try one more thing here, gang. I don't know why the video doesn't want to play. Push live. Okay, it's not playing. I don't know what the problem is. Huh, that's really weird. Let me do this. Give me 1 second. I'm going to make it play. How's that? I'm going to force it to play, guys. Give me 1 second here. There we go.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and YouTube are teaming up to help end childhood cancer.
In September, supporters from across the nation come together during Childhood Cancer Awareness Month to raise money for the kids of St. Jude.
And that's when YouTube gamers will be posting videos and live streaming to raise funds to support the life-saving mission of St. Jude.
At St. Jude, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because all a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Money raised also supports the research that leads to groundbreaking medical discoveries that St. Jude freely shares around the globe.
I can only imagine as a parent the relief that they feel when someone like St. Jude steps in.
I think it's a really good lesson for us to realize that we need to do more, and we can do more.
It is a huge step in the right direction, a huge step in helping just people and giving back.
It's all for good, and we have a responsibility, a social responsibility to help out.
Find your favorite video or live stream during St. Jude Play Live on YouTube for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month and donate to this amazing cause.
Your support will help St. Jude further its incredible mission.
Finding cures, saving children.
Let's end childhood cancer together.
There we go. Pretty straightforward stuff there, gang. St. Jude Children's Hospital, again, we are really excited to do this campaign. We hope you guys can continue to support us with it. And I think that's all I'm going to say about that. Let me see. Pardon me. Jeez, oh, Pete. My throat is just really messed up here. We are going to get ready to bring our guests, which are going to be the player haters. We're going to show you guys a real quick commercial. We're going to get them into the green room. I'm going to say adios to you guys, and that will, once again, we appreciate you guys being here today with us. And as always, we just really appreciate all that you guys do for our support. This is our 50th episode. And if you'd asked me, did I think we would get 50 of these episodes done? I would have said, I don't know, because everything that we do is really based upon you guys in the community and how you guys receive and respond to what we do. So thank you guys so much for helping us reach 50. Let's see if we make 100. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, thank you guys for being here. I'm going to go ahead and check out, get the player haters in, and we'll see you guys a little bit later, as always. In a bit.
In the case of nuclear or radiological fallout, people living around potential targets such as...
Gently used space station 50% off, and it's only been through one planetfall. You come on down, you tell Scooter sent you. Y'all have a good evening. Woo!
All sales are final. Scooter is not responsible for hull breaches, shard bodies, or T-poses. Use caution while lifting space station.
What's up? What's up? What's up? The player haters are back. What's up, players? How y'all doing, man?
You done had me waiting so long. My Jericho's almost fried up for me. Play something around here. Welcome back. Hello.
Look at all of us beautiful, beautiful haters over here.
Blackjack, let me ask you a question, man. The credits roll, your girlfriend, she didn't read, man. What's up with that? You ain't been paying that. What's up with that, man? You need to go ahead and throw us some space bucks or something, brother. We had to sit there and read that whole thing by ourselves.
Well, when you come up to 50 episodes, you got to cut corners somewhere.
I got you.
50 of these things.
I got you. Hey, wait, whoa. Let me, check about Lock G. Look at your boy. He got his hair done. Can you tell?
I see we had a topic called I have a bad feelings about this. I got a bad feeling about Blackjack hair.
I'm digging it, brother. The brother went to the barbershop this week. It looks like, hey, listen, welcome everybody. We appreciate you guys being here. I don't know about these brothers, but I went out and bought me. You see this? Y'all check that out. This is what I bought for the occasion for 50. 50.
See what I have a
Somebody
problem.
sold that to you at the pawn shop, didn't it?
What, brother? What you got, man?
I have a problem with G-Lock because you can expect that coming from the rich and the ratchet.
Okay, I got your rich and ratchet right here.
Today.
I got
no rich today. It's the rich and the ratchet.
I got your rich and ratchet right here. All right. Well, listen, we go hit a couple of. First of all, happy anniversary. Not anniversary. What is it? Is it birthday? What is it? What these kids celebrate?
I don't know. They got 50 times doing fools on their ad excuse for podcast.
Blackjack, listen to Lock G try to talk proper. 50.
He tried to talk proper.
It's
knowing he done passed 50 years ago.
It's 50. 50, get it right, Lock G. 50. No, 50. You ain't get that 50 living up on the north side with them folks on the lakefront.
Hey.
You can take the folks out of a book, but you can't take the book out of a book, I tell you.
That's right. You can't take the book.
All right, well, listen, we need to go ahead and get down to the real deal because they didn't bring us on here just to hear us talk all day. We got a couple questions that have come from Reddit, your favorite place, Blackjack, where folks ain't got no intelligence. We're going to end up reading a couple posts off of here, and we'll see what your thoughts are in relation to this. Let me see here what we got first up. This first one is called, I had a bad feeling about it. Like you said, Lock G, I got a bad feeling looking at Blackjack over there, but let's read it. Okay. So this month's subscription flare is the coffee mug shown off in an ISC in March of the 30th. These issue council reports were made on May 1st, May 12th. I remember asking here and being told answered by a dev with a none tag. I know it may be a minor, it might be minor to some, but it seems a bit tone deaf to me. Also, it's not like they said, hey, we know the state of the coffee machines, so the flare will be released in the next patch with a fix. I thought we could expect better. Well, every day it's another chance to do better than yesterday. Now, just so y'all understand what this is about, Blackjack and Lock G, this person's complaining because this month's flare is a coffee mug. And they saying, yeah, but the coffee maker in my hab and on my ship don't work. So this is a waste of time. Now, I'm going to go to Blackjack first because I don't know if you drink coffee or not, but as a coffee drinker, are you a coffee drinker, Blackjack?
Well, first of all, he should have done better than that post that he posted up there right there. And secondly, yes, I'm a coffee drinker. I done purchased my coffee and I drink my Machado every day.
Machado. Listen to him, like his Machado.
That's Irish for a lot of y'all coffee drinkers.
Yeah.
Irish.
Yeah, okay, that's Irish. That's hood for something you don't know what it is. But go ahead. What about what do you think about this post?
That post deserves a little bit of credit for the writer who wrote it, because it's a shame that he was fussing about the coffee machine when he should have been fussing about the typewriter that he was using to create that post. But he may have just to go ahead in defense of the writer, he may have a little bit of defense. I just want to ask him, was the ship that he was flying with, did it do its purpose?
Well, all right. I don't know nothing about what he was saying, like, G, so I'm gonna go to you next. Maybe you have something more intelligible to say. What do you think about this? My coffee mug don't work in my coffee maker post.
Get over it, fool. Look.
He said it, I didn't.
Get over it,
I
fool.
went on your post, man. And your post, it just keeps on going.
I know,
it
man.
Don't stop, man. Sell that typewriter to G-Lock.
Ain't no stopping us now.
Ain't no stopping us now. Hey,
it's just a post.
All right, well, I had a bad feeling about this post when I saw it, but I figured I'd let y'all see it. Maybe y'all had something intelligent to say, but obviously I was incorrect. So we're going to move on to the next post.
The answer was just as intelligent as the post that was presented.
Okay. All right. Let me move on to this next post. Now, this next one's a little bit longer, and I'll read it to y'all because I know reading is not fundamental with some people in this stream. So let me read the rest of it. This is from, oh, you're going to like this, Blackjack. This is from Star Citizen Refunds. If you can't beat the JPEG salesman, become the JPEG salesman. All right? Check this out. Hey, Star Citizen, me and my friend, we've been loyal backers of Star Citizen since 2014 until now. Little did we know the journey would be filled with mismanagement, scope creep, and a roadmap as clear as a cosmic dust. Release dates more elusive than a UFO sighting. It became a black hole sucking our time, money, and sanity. We sold our Star Citizen assets over the past week on Star Citizen trades. No more broken dreams and empty promises. We even put together a spreadsheet which calculated how much CIG has swindled from us over the past 9 years. Then you have Starfield. No more endless waiting or uncertainty, just excitement for a game with real promises and a solid release date. Star Citizen may have burned us, but it can't extinguish our passion for exploring the great unknown. We're hopping aboard the Starfield hype train. Destination, a release date. Let me go to you, Lock G, first on this one. What are your thoughts on this wonderful post from Star Citizen Refunds?
So he's mad because he can't sell the JPEGs I sold to him. See, I'm a JPEG salesman.
Oh, you sold this to him?
I sold
no
the
wonder
JPEG
he mad.
to him.
If you bought it from you, I see why
he
he's
tried to
mad.
sell the JPEG to somebody else. That's his fault. Can't get your money back.
Can't get your money back.
Can't get your money
Well,
back.
yeah, did you? I hope you sold him an account. Would you just sell him a picture? Is that all you sold him?
Let me show you what
I told you I'm a JPEG salesman. I sold him a JPEG. That's his fault.
Absolutely, that's his fault. Let me tell you, he had it makes no sense. You know, if you wanted the JPEG, let me go ahead and take out your camera, brother. Take this JPEG.
It's a JPEG.
Go ahead and take that JPEG. Because at the end of the day, Santa Claus ain't gonna deliver to your stocking cap. It's full of coal. So you might as well call, what's that dude named Krampus?
The Krampus.
And express all your sterling foul milk on that profile. Because it makes no sense how you're sitting there complaining about a game that's a completely different game than another game that spent 10 years in development that's going to go ahead and not give us an MMO and not give us unlimited freedom around the ship and things like that and so forth and in space and so forth. I'm through. I can't waste my time. He done knocked my curve.
Oh, Lord. All right. Well, listen.
You see what you did to Blackjack, fool. You cannot resell that JPEG. I ain't giving you your money back. That's your fault.
It's okay. We got one that wants to come in and talk to the players. We got Kai Zian wants to come in and share his thoughts on this post. So let's see what Mr. Kai Zian has to say. Kai Zian, are you there?
Yes, sir. I agree with Rick James. I mean Blackjack. So I just want to say to the refundian in question. That's right. To the refundian in question. Bye, Felicia.
Now that's a player. That's a player's answer.
That's a real player right there.
The players say
That's
you might as well go play what is it called? Starship? What is it? Star Trek? What's that other game? Starfield. That's it. Starfield.
Who knows?
Starfield. Let me ask. Okay, Kai's already left us already. Do y'all think this person was a little salty? I mean, they've been waiting around for a while. Yeah, they didn't put the.
What does his point got to do with the price of tea in China? I just don't get it. They're two completely different games. So he can go ahead and play that Star Real. That game over there.
Wait. Listen.
Star Real. That's it.
Listen.
It come out September.
Listen to what he said. He says no more endless waiting or uncertainty, just excitement and the real promise of a release date. That's what they're looking for. They're looking to be able to go into space and do whatever they want to do. Do you think that that's what's going to happen, or do you think they're going to come back to Star Citizen?
They'll be back.
They'll always be back.
Just as quick as they roll.
They always
they're
come
back to me and try to ask me for a JPEG. I'm gonna send it to her for twice the price. What?
The only excitement in that excitement was the lack of excitement that he was putting down in that whole paragraph.
Okay,
that's right.
Fair enough. Hey. All right. Well, listen, we're gonna open up the floor since this is our 50th episode, and Griff had us come on today. We're gonna open up the floor for. By the way, did y'all see my shirt? You check out my shirt, man. This is how I'm celebrating the 50th. It's full of 50s and hundreds and,
I like that
all
shirt.
that stuff. I stepped it up a little bit here. I stepped it up a little bit.
My coat.
I didn't. Oh, look at you! I just noticed what you was wearing. All I saw was your hair.
Now blackjack.
Oh my goodness! Good. Google it, Moogle it.
Y'all couldn't recognize talent and money.
Oh, he said talent.
Good. Google it. That jet sucker looked like Joseph in the 12-color Technicolor Dream Coat.
He got talent to
Google
keep
it,
that girl from lighting on fire.
Okay, so listen, we're gonna open up the floor for anybody that would like to come in and talk to the player haters. This is gonna be Ask a Player time before we close out. We already got somebody who's here. Merchant Man. Y'all already know who Merchant Man is. His broke up ship, but anyway, he's broken hearted. Merchant Man, what's up?
I don't know what he merching, because he coming in here to try to sell something. He obviously ain't got nothing to sell.
Always trying to sell.
I sold that last guy a handlebar, so that's why he's all salty. That's what happened. You sold him a handlebar.
Oh, you sold him you gave him that handlebar JPEG. You gave him that.
So that's why he's salty.
Oh, well, you a definite player. You're a definite player.
So I got a question for y'all. Happy 50th, first of all. But yeah, this is your main man, Merchant Man here. So I got a thread on here on Spectrum talking about turn it off. To turn off Xenothreat, no more. What do y'all think about Xenothreat? You think that it's a waste of time, or you think it's viable, or do you think they should just stop using Xenothreat?
I don't know how he can turn off Xenothreat. Don't play it.
Oh, you know what?
That's right.
You know what? For that answer, let's hit it, fellas. Hit it real quick now. That's what we need to do.
Don't play it.
Wait a minute. No. I have to respond to that question one more time. Now, Xenothreat. They say no more Xenothreat. What let me ask you, Merchant Man, is there a reason why the person might have said that, you think?
Well, I'll read what he said in the thread. He said, I'm going to read this quote, unquote. They turn it off, turn off the Xenothreat, no more. Throw it in the garbage, burn it in fire, never look back, bury it in the desert. I hate it. Go back to stable. Xenothreat has been broken since day one of it being the thing. It doesn't work. Keep it in PTU where it belongs, far away from this live server.
Wow. So that person really does not like Xenothreat, it sounds like.
Exactly.
You got to get to the event. Ain't nobody telling him to get to the event. So I don't understand why he's making an issue of an event that you have to literally get to play in the game.
I think his from what I'm reading is that because it makes the live service unstable. That's what this person is coming from.
Well, I'm gonna say, well, I don't know. I have my own feelings about that, but for right now, anybody who feels that's going to be my feelings toward the person who feels that Xenothreat is not necessary, because in order for things to get better, we have to play it. Yeah, it slows down the servers and stuff, but that's what's got to happen. Otherwise, You find out later. That's for sure.
You have to break it.
Right.
Now or later. Now or later.
Badly broken.
Right
It's
now.
that piece behind chain that Lock G have over there in the corner over there. You got to break those things.
All right. Thank you very much, Merchant Man. We appreciate you. We appreciate you stopping by. And let's see, where's he at? Can I get it? Why come I can't grab his thing? Get him out of here. Yeah, he came by and offered a whole lot of nothing. All right, let's go ahead and get in what we got here. We got Fist to Face coming in next. Fist to Face, you there?
Oh, I remember this fool.
Oh, how y'all doing?
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
listen, first off, I want to say congratulations, all right, to all three of y'all.
We appreciate that.
Appreciate you.
Player.
With it, so since this is an Ask a Player question, I like to know, what thrift store did y'all shop at in Inverse?
Ooh, I think he's talking to you, Blackjack. I think he's
like
talking to you, Blackjack. Oh my God, he 30K'd you. He 30K'd you, Blackjack.
30K, baby.
Ooh.
30K. He's not talking to me because anybody worth talking to me ain't gonna be on this platform. They're gonna be out and about doing the things that I needed to do, doing the things that I wanted to do. They're not gonna come in here and give us his 2-cent request or answer or question on where we got our clothes from. How about you go ahead and you invent a thrift store where I can have a to even look and purchase. Don't come in here and waste my time. I'm black.
Hey, Lock G, we gotta play our theme. We gotta play our theme for that one. I think he done came up with some stuff like that. Oh my God. Who else we got? We got one more. Oh, Sir Togi.
We got to come here and act like he's 13 years old. I'm coming here with that.
What up?
Sir Togi, what's up? What's up? What's up?
You know, there's one thing here that combines both of these things that they've said.
Okay.
And that's that they broke.
Ooh.
You got people who too broke to afford a new coffee machine. If your coffee machine's broke, go buy a new one.
Ooh.
And then you got people trading in a Bentley for some hoopty and thinking it's Bentley's fault.
Now I like this brother.
A real G has a garage big enough.
I like this
real G
brother.
has a garage big enough for both of them.
I like this brother.
This is a real player right here,
Yes,
fellas.
sir.
Real
Yes,
player.
sir. Yes, sir. Players
That's
know players. I'm telling you. Sir Togi,
Knows how to hate.
you can come in anytime, Sir Togi. We appreciate that.
Got that right.
All right, all right.
Right.
Sir Togi, hit it
That's
on the
a real
head.
player.
Players know players. Well, listen.
Buy yourself a Machado from Starbucks if you can afford that.
Oh, hit it, y'all. There it is.
Well, all right.
There it is.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
Universe, recording angel.
Oh, that's the Players theme song there, y'all. All right, we appreciate that. Wait a minute, Blackjack, what were you drinking out of a few minutes ago? Did I see you got a new goblet or something over there?
A new goblet? What are you talking about?
Look at this.
That half y'all don't have. You know what? I guarantee the ones on this show probably ain't got nothing but a red sippy cup. I can tell you that. But
Oh, what you trying to say, brother? This is a original. This was given to me by the founder of Solo, brother. I don't know what you're talking about. You ain't never seen. Look at the diamond encrusting on that. That is the real thing, man. Unlike that Goodwill version you got over there, brother.
Look at
That Amazon special you got over there.
Down the street to go ahead and spoof it up. It happens. You know those kids that come up with those little boxes full of fake jewels and stuff like that. We get it. A lot of things like that over there, and Chicago.
All right, well, listen.
You're talking about it, G-Lock's pawn shop, right?
Oh,
That's where I got this little glass right here.
What you got, Doc?
Nice, isn't it?
Oh, look at that! Look at that!
Some Sandota in there. Look at
Oh
that.
man, that's like a little baby player. That's for baby
See?
players, though, man. That little bitty
That's
thing.
how you do it.
That's a baby player. That's for your little shots. That's a little shot player glass. I likes that.
That's right. Shot player.
I can't comment on that one. Right there.
All right, well, listen.
All I can say is everybody need to drink sometime.
We go wrap this thing up now. Y'all might notice that Grimhex Brethren is not here. Well, that's because the brother, the player who's always working, didn't pay his electric bill. So there was no internet available for him to be here today. So we just want you to know that's why you don't see him on the screen. He's probably sitting, I don't know what the brother doing without no electricity, but he couldn't get on the internet. So needless to say, players, Pay your bills. That's all I got to say to you. Pay your bills, all right? Pay your bills.
And stop rubbing on yourself. He's probably
That's probably why he lost electricity.
And it's trying to come up with some type of hospital on what way to go ahead and resole some of the things that he done rubbed off. So it's just wonderful that we don't have him on there, because I swear that brother got a problem with his finger.
Well, he be rubbing that polyester. I guess he's trying to create some static electricity, but that ain't going to power his computer. But anyway, let's talk about what we got going on this weekend. Tomorrow, the Soul Citizens are going to be doing a show called RobertSpaceIndustries.com, RSI.com, and they're going to be reviewing the website that everybody goes to when they want to spend some more money on Star Citizen, except for these two brothers who go to, well, I won't talk about where they get their ships from, but this is where most people go to whenever they want to purchase something. But there's a lot more to it than just buying ships. We're going to talk about the history. We're going to talk about how do you use it, maybe even parts of the site that you've never visited or been to before. So we are going to do that on tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Fastcart will be here, Griffin Gaming will be here, and they're going to share a lot of the history of the RobertSpaceIndustries.com website. Other than that, that's about all I got to say that's going on. I want to give.
I just saw somebody send some subscriptions our way.
Oh, really? Where did the sub come our way? How did I miss that?
Thank you very much, Anonymous, for all of those subs.
Ooh, good googly moogly. Anonymous gifter, 10 community subs. Y'all make sure y'all send some love to that person. If you got a gift sub,
that's right.
Send them some love. Send them a little heart.
It's difficult.
Yeah, that's a player.
Difficult to send love to somebody who's anonymous.
That is a player.
We're gonna do it. That is a player for you. That's a player. You know, Griff. I had one bad feeling about the day, Griff. The bad feeling that I had about turning 50 episodes was because I had to come back for another 50 episodes. That was the bad feeling. For the day. You know, you got to deal with brothers.
Well, I said I'm surprised they made it 50. We got 50 more to go.
Well,
we got 50 more to go.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you all joining me today. When we got the invitation, I had to tell my brothers, my fellow players, that they wanted us all to be on today. We couldn't get Grimhex Brethren. Like I said, if y'all want to start a donation fund to send some money to the brother so he could be on next time, y'all just let us know. Yeah, $1.50, whatever you want to send. No, you know what? Make it 50 cents, not $50, 50 cents. 50 cents to the Grimhex Brethren Fund. And you'll be able to find that also on GoFundMe. Look for that 50,
that's right.
50 for Grimhex. That's what you want to say.
That fund is full of hijacking brothers on there, so he may not get all the 50 when he dive into it, but he'll at least get something. It'll be the thought that counts.
All right. And also, just so you know, today is also PodSat Saturday, where we go, well, you know what? Why don't you tell them what PodSat Saturday is, Blackjack? Because I got to do the technical stuff over here because Griff is left. So I got to get us ready for the raid.
Stuff, brother. Yeah, amen. And you know, the pod on Saturday, we have something called Podcast Saturday. Now, it is a variety of shows, 3 led off by Soul Voices itself. You know, the brothers of Soul Voices with the current brothers that you have right now and many others. What we do is we go ahead and we talk about things from Reddit, from those hot posts that we have that we just read from, so hot that you can't be around those posts and those brothers because the breath is so hot. But then they go ahead and lead off to Astro Pub at 6 p.m. Now, once again, Soul Voice start at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. Then it goes to the Astro Pub at 6 p.m. with Paul Shelley, our good friend over there at the Astro Pub. And then it ends off with Relay. So it is a good Trey podcast Saturday that you want to look forward to every Saturday starting at 3 p.m. with Soul Voices.
Did you notice that Lock G, he went from fancy to ghetto, then back, he said 3, then he said tree. That was the ghetto side. Then he went Trey, tried to go French on us. I ain't never giving that brother another assignment again. That's all I got to say. I ain't give that brother another assignment again.
I can't help that y'all not educated on the show.
Oh.
Right. That y'all don't have, y'all speak one language on here.
All right, Lock G. Is there anything you want to say before we go? Because we didn't give him the mic too long. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Lock G?
We gave him too much.
All right. Well, listen. Thank y'all for hanging out with us today. We appreciate all the people that came in and helped us celebrate our 50th. We're at 50 viewers, so that's a great number to end this show on. Thank you guys for all the dedication and faithfulness that you've had. We are going to be going to check out our boy Paul Shelley at the yacht. Not the yacht club. What's it called? The Astro Pub. The Astro Pub. Paul Shelley.
Like
Yacht Club in my
somebody
head. Mad Style, what's up, Mad Style? Good to see you. Ain't seen Mad Style in a little while. All right, but thank you guys for hanging out with us. And as always, we want to tell you to stay safe, take care of yourselves. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern for RobertSpaceIndustries.com. And until then, peace, love, and soul. We'll see y'all real soon. Hit it, fellas, real quick. One more time. We're going to get it. Here we go. Y'all dance it out. Dance it out. Dance it out. That's it.
Universe.
That's it. That's it.
To claim the
all right.
Partying on the